Welcome to Narrowboat Chef. Today on the menu we are going to make a chicken parmigiana.
Yeah, it's something we don't really see that often on menus here in the UK, but it's quite common to see them on almost every pub and tavern in Australia.
Yeah, pretty much every tavern or pub has a chicken parmy.
There's some
chicken
even,
parmy, as to call it in Australia.
There's quite a few taverns in Australia that have got even a separate part of the menu with multiple versions of chicken parmigiana and schnitzel and pizza topped chicken schnitzels.
I'm pretty sure I remember making a chicken parmigiana in like every kitchen I worked in.
Yeah. So we're kind of looking forward to this, something a little bit that we remember from Australia.
Yeah.
So let's get cooking.
Yeah.
To make the Napoli sauce, roughly chop 1/4 of a large brown onion. Add oil to a hot pot and start sweating the onions. Add 1/2 teaspoon of minced garlic and cook for 30 seconds. Add 1 tablespoon of tomato paste and cook out for 1 minute. Add in 1 teaspoon of dry mixed herbs and 1/2 teaspoon of dried oregano. Add 400 gram tin of chopped tomatoes. Stir and simmer for a few minutes, then season with salt and pepper. Remove from heat and blitz to desired consistency. Add 1/2 teaspoon of sugar and stir in. So once you've added the sugar, it's pretty much done. You can make it a bit chunky, or you can blitz it down to it's ultra thin. We've kind of gone in between. We've blitzed it but not too much, so there's still a few chunks in it. That's just how I prefer it. You can always just, whatever you prefer, chunky or not. Finally cut about 10 fresh basil leaves and add to the sauce. Set the sauce aside. Butterfly 2 chicken breasts. To crumb the chicken, put 1/2 cup of plain flour into a bowl or tray. Whisk 2 eggs and 100 ml of milk together into a bowl. And put 1½ cups of breadcrumbs with 2 tablespoons of finely grated parmesan into a third bowl. Right, so we're about to crumb the chicken breast, and a helpful tip, especially if you're crumbing a lot of stuff and you don't get so gunky, is to assign a dry hand and a wet hand. So if you're working from left to right, I would suggest left hand wet, the right hand dry. So whenever you're handling something dry, right hand. Dipping into something wet, left hand. That way it doesn't get so gunked up with stuff. So we always start with the flour. And then we'll move on to our egg mix. So the egg mix and the flour will combine together to make a nice sticky, tacky surface for the breadcrumbs to stick on, and they should stay on through cooking. And that's how the crumbing is awesome. So with these chicken breasts, I'm doing what is double crumbing. I mean, as you might have seen, I did the flour, egg, then the breadcrumb mix. Then I went straight from the breadcrumb mix back into the egg mix to make it super sticky. Then back into the breadcrumb to get even more breadcrumbs. It makes a nice, thicker breadcrumb, usually a little bit more crispy once it's cooked out too. Just do this because occasionally, sometimes, one layer, especially with the coarse panko breadcrumbs that we're using, doesn't create quite a good enough seal. And it sometimes comes apart, like the breadcrumbs might come off in the deep fry, and I just do that occasionally. You can always just mix a fine breadcrumb with it if you just want to do the one layer. So we're going to be shallow frying these chicken parmigianas in the pan. You don't need a lot of oil, it's just a better alternative to deep frying them. You only need about 1/2 centimeter to a full centimeter of cold oil in the pan. And make sure you've got a high side pan. And then once it's heat up, the oil should expand and become a little bit higher. Then obviously once you displace some of that oil by placing something like the chicken breast in there, it'll come up even higher. So it's just like frying something in a pan with just a lot more oil, and a little bit less dangerous than deep frying on a boat in a pot. When oil is hot, add the crumbed chicken carefully into the oil. Cook the first side for about 1 minute. Then turn over and cook the other side for about the same amount of time. The chicken breast should come out a light golden colour all over. Remove from the oil and drain on paper towel to get rid of excess oil. Place the chicken onto an oven tray and top with Napoli sauce. Add some prosciutto and mozzarella cheese on top. Then put them in the oven for about 4 to 5 minutes. So they're not quite done yet, but I'm just switching the oven to grill to give the cheese a bit more of a brown bubbly texture on top. Serve hot with a nice side salad or some chips, or both. Well, that's our chicken Parmigiana.
Smells good.
Brings back memories.
I'm really looking forward to this. It's been... we haven't had a chicken parmy since we came to the UK, have we?
No, we haven't.
So 4.5 years? At least. I don't know when we had one before we left Australia.
It wasn't our most favourite dish at the pub whenever we used to go to the pub.
We didn't have it often, did we? No. But yes, I am really looking forward to having it. As always, if you would like the recipe for the chicken Parmigiana, check the link below and I will link to that onto our website, which has all of our recipes. And if you have a go at making our chicken Parmigiana, send us pics on social media. We'd love to see it. We get lots of people send us pics of like the Anzac biscuits that we did.
And the chocolate chip hot cross buns.
Yeah. So good.
Tend to be more the sweet stuff.
Yeah. So send us pictures of like the savoury things.
Yeah, the savoury things.
Let us know that you've actually tried it. So I hope you've enjoyed watching us make our chicken Parmigiana. Hope you tried the recipe and enjoy that. Let us know.
Then don't forget to like and subscribe.
Yeah, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Ow.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to elbow you. I'm sorry, sweet. I love you. I'm sorry.
That's what is it? Domestic violence. Spousal abuse.
I'm sure you'll live.
Or child abuse, depending on when you want to take it.
Yeah. Today on the menu, we're doing a chicken Parmigiana.
We don't see him. Okay, a big clump of stuff in the back of my throat. I need a drink.
That was a good start.
Like I was about to say something and I can't. I gotta swallow whatever it is in my throat. Well, that's our chicken. I forgot what it was called now. Okay, start again. Good?
Yeah.